Yeah, you know what it is. What's good, everybody? WCS in the building. Shout out to all the supporters. It's trench time. Boxing is picking back up. You know what it is. I had to give you the exclusives like I always do when I'm out of town. I had to touch bases with the WCS supporters, man, and give a shout out and let you know it's fight week up in this month. It's going down once again. It is absolutely fight week. Tank Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, balance the scales. All the wait is over. No more talk. Gervonta made weight. He made weight. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Dude made weight. What's going on, TJ? What's good with you? Appreciate you popping up, pulling up, dropping through. You know what it is. Just like, last time I probably did it. It's been a minute. I did it in Texas, Vegas, but San Antonio today, man. Had to give y'all a skyline view because that's what I do for my supporters, man. I show love, dog. I show love. Give a view, man, into the skyline as the daylight starts to brush shoulders with the evening. They start making those arrangements about what's to pop off this Friday in San Antonio, Texas. You know what I'm saying? It's grind time again. First fight with a crowd since the pandemic. And it's already a lot of people in the lobby. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's a different vibe, though, with the mask and everything. You kind of got to get a feel for who you're looking at. And then whether they want to, I don't know, do an interview. I mean, it's still a little sketchy, just a little bit, because people are weary, but most of it is cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's a nice host hotel. The weather's nice. Plenty of women in the lobby. I mean, Texas always do it big anyway. You know what I'm saying? 11 p.m. What's good? What's up, my man? World Comeback. Salute to you, my brother. What is up? What's good? I'm hyped. You got Jason. You got the other side. You got freaking Naoya Inoue going in there against Jason Maloney. Man, that's gonna be a good fight. You got Michaela Mayer. She's going in there with Brodnicka, I believe her name is. And Brodnicka says she brought the belt to show Mayer. She ain't bring it to give it to her. She brought it to show her and let her know hey, I'm just letting you take a look at it. That's all I'm doing. It's nothing you can do about it. But the dang vibe, the energy around here, man, is, of course, the fighters is in the bubble. It sucks because usually in a regular setting, you know what I'm saying, you'll probably see Tank, his people, Leo Santa Cruz, all his people. But the team, everybody has to stay up into the bubble until fight day, man. So that's the only, crazy thing about it. But guess what? World Combat Sports will be in the building, baby. In the building. They say I'm gonna be in the building. I got just one more day to wait. Oh, what you know. Just can't wait, man. It's good to be back on deck for fight week, for real. All this freaking bubble shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit just get old, dog. SB90, what's good? He said, I got Tank stopping Leo in 6. What's good? WCS. All right. I hear you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had Tank potentially. We talking about Leo Santa Cruz. I seen Tank fight before twice. I think it's gonna be more so 8 or 9. I might be wrong, but I think it's gonna be more so 8 or 9. I'm not saying your prediction is not right. I'm just saying it might be 8 or 9. I done seen Tank fight before, even in Baltimore. I think Leo Santa Cruz is a much tougher opponent than the one he fought in Baltimore, of course, 4th division champion. So I think he might have enough ring IQ, proper distance gauging, you know. With Leo Santa Cruz, he's gonna have to be willing to accept the option. If he goes in there and try to bang with Tank when he's fresh, what a lot of people don't know, Tank can motherfucking box. And he boxed with a freaking tenaciousness. I'm telling you, man, people worry about him and what he's doing outside. Tank can box, man. Leo Santa Cruz, man, he can too. I'm just curious to know if he's willing to test his grade and say, you know what, tonight's the night. PPV, all that shit. I'm freaking going in and standing in the square. I'm gonna be in his space, and I'm gonna make it interesting for the fans. I think T.O. is fighting. Listen, what I tell you, people, it's a difference when you have certain individuals fighting for their family. Leo Santa Cruz is fighting for his father. He ain't just fighting to go in there and win a belt. Leo Santa Cruz is trying to look. His mindset is on a whole nother scale, man, of competence. He understands how much he loves his father. That's been the case for quite some time. Leo Santa Cruz is trying to go in here and make history. 5-division champion. He's trying to become a 5-division champion without even fighting in the lightweight division. He's trying to do what Sugar Ray Leonard did to Donnie Lennon, who was fighting at light heavy. And they fought at a catchweight of 168. Sugar Ray was dropped in that fight. Lennon was dropped in that fight. But ultimately, Sugar Ray pulled it out. You know what I'm saying? This is the history we got, people. 11 p.m. say, are you tuning into the Honey McGill tonight on the Zone and Rashidi Ellis? I'm going to try to when I'm on deck, when I start the low crawl in the trenches. Hey, I don't know when I'm going to be back up here. I don't come on fight week to sit and watch fights, from other places. I come in to get interviews. I come in here to try to find fish, recon, as I call it. I try to recon for names where I got the chance. So to answer your question, I don't know, bro. To be honest, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. But I just thought I might give y'all a little bit of this sunset. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot popping off down here. The streets are nice. The weather is just perfect. It was too many of them in the lobby pulling up for fight week. It's a lot of women pulling up for this fight, y'all. That's a good sign. That's a lot of women pulling up for this fight, man. A lot. So it's going to be nice. The rooms are spectacular in the host hotel. I mean, the flat screen on the wall so flat, goddamn. It looks like you can put it between, 2 pieces of bread to make a sandwich out that motherfucker. It's so flat. These must be the high-end flats, goddamn it. Shit, what the hell? They did this shit up nice. What y'all got popping tonight, man? How everybody feeling on this weekend? Friday. Turn up. That's what it is, man. World Combat Sports in the building. This ain't the first time, I give the supporters a bird's eye view. I gotta let you know what the trenches look like out in the field out here. Shit, hard work. I do it because I love the sport, man. I like being out in the field better than I do online. You know what I'm saying? I like to be on site. I like to be on site. Green light on site. I'm gonna definitely try to keep y'all abreast each day. It's gonna be a short weekend, of course, today, and of course tomorrow would be the most. Then the brother up out of here. But yeah, hopefully everything pop off the way it should be over here in San Antonio. I already ran into some familiar faces, but I was trying to get everything settled in. But, you know, if this is going to be anything leading up to the Errol Spence and Danny Garcia fight, it's going to be it's going to be packed. Seriously, it's going to be it's going to have that nice energy that you're looking for pulling up to a fight, y'all. If it's this way for Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis today, you know, I can only imagine when people start rolling in a little bit later tonight, and you know how the hotel lobby is going to be tomorrow morning. You know, that shit's going to be on point. I wanted to touch bases also, like, shout out to my boy Douglas Lima, man. He lost his quest to become champ going in there against Gegard Mousasi. You know, my boy Douglas, man, down here in the A. You know, he didn't get it done, but still much respect to him and his brother Diego out of AT&T. Lima, you know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all. They've been doing it big, open up their own school, all that shit. 3-time welterweight champion. Really 4-time welterweight champion, because he was a champion outside of the name Bellator also. But the boxing, what I'm hearing, you know, Deontay Wilder is looking more and more like he won't be facing Tyson Fury by the end of the year. I was reading an article, and you know, sometimes people want to say, well, that article ain't this. You know, I like reference my articles before I go ahead and talk about it. But some people feel cool about just spitting it, you know, right off the rip. But you know, supposedly he spoke to a news media and basically said he hasn't been training. That's quite opposite of what I was hearing. You know, I was hearing from his camp that he was in training, but yet, you know, the word came out that he had made mention that he wasn't training because his biceps. He's gonna give his bicep time to heal. So you know, a lot of people jumping up and down for joy for that shit, because you still got the haters out there that's thinking that they're gonna get all the energy and flavor that they want, seeing Tyson Fury go in here and fight another ragu, you know, tomato can, and then potentially step in there with Anthony Joshua. Listen, for anyone who ever followed boxing, if you have a fight that's lined up that's going to make millions of dollars like Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, don't even think about Kubrat Pulev. Yeah, he can go in there and fight Joshua all he wants, but it's going to be more so like Charles Martin did when he stepped in there with Anthony Joshua. Yeah. It was for a title shot. But I'm saying the mentality of it all, I don't see Kubrat Pulev doing anything with Joshua to mess up this fight for Tyson Fury. I just don't see it happening like that. It's probably people, if this is indeed all the way 100% authentic, I just don't see people really giving a damn about Kubrat Pulev and Anthony Joshua mandatory. And if it does go down, I see Anthony Joshua winning that fight so they can get on the business and try to make this Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua bout. This is for the undisputed heavyweight championship. Yeah, I want my boy Wilder to be in there, of course. But when it comes down to boxing, the business aspect always going to benefit those who are getting paid first. And those who are getting paid first are the ones that's making the moves and making all the arrangements for this fight to even happen. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that's important. So we'll see what's up, man. You know, Tyson Fury, people are not gonna, you know, people are still gonna be curious now to see what would have happened if, you know, Anthony Joshua would have faced Deontay Wilder, or Tyson Fury would have faced Deontay Wilder for a trilogy. But if this is indeed the case, you know, Deontay is speaking the truth about his bicep, and he hasn't really been training. Well, now we go to the point of talking about Tyson Fury and his next fight, which is unimportant, and Anthony Joshua's next fight, which is supposed to be against Pulev, but not too many people are going to talk about it, but they're going to tune in and watch it. They're just going to tune in because, to be honest with you, they're just going to tune in because. Nothing too big. They're just going to tune in because, people. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out to the lightweight king. For those of you that's tuned in with your ears wide open, I want to give a shout out to the lightweight king, Teofimo Lopez. Denise Ward in the building. What's good, Boxing Queen? How you feeling today? Appreciate you always dropping through. Much respect. I want to give a shout out to the lightweight king, Teofimo Lopez, while he's on vacation with his wife. He did the damn thing. The positive part of the positive outlook of that lightweight division means there's a lot of names that can potentially step up and face Teofimo Lopez if indeed he doesn't get a bigger calling or a bigger name up at 140. You know, of course, it's all about the money right now. It's all about cementing, the phase 2 of his legacy. He already did that at lightweight division. He made history, so it's, of course, what's next for him is to step up and start making moves like a boss. And the only way he can do that is make the right decisions like he's been doing. Stay on track, stay focused. His team is doing him justice. And pick a correct name that's going to continue to elevate Teofimo Lopez to another level. With that level of success is going to what? Come higher monetary value to his Wall Street in boxing, y'all. Come on, talk to me, man. He making the calls. You heard what Floyd Mayweather said. Floyd Mayweather said he wants Gervonta Davis to have one more fight before consider him to possibly face Teofimo Lopez. Could you imagine how big that fight would be, y'all? Can you imagine how big that fight will be with Gervonta Davis and Teofimo Lopez? And also, I have to take in consideration how big the fight will be with Devin Haney also. But it just seems like a little steam is being lost with Teofimo winning the belts. And now people are sitting up here basically diluting his win and the person that he was in there with. I don't have respect for that. And that goes for anyone. I don't have respect for Lomachenko having 96% of the betting odds, the favorites to win that fight against Teofimo Lopez. He lost. And then you have people out here saying that he the same thing they were saying against Yokis Gamboa. He wasn't 100%. Teofimo did this, that. He went in there and fought a spectacular fight, fantastic win. He got the shit done. And guess what? Man, y'all have to give that man his credit all the way from 0 to 100. You have to give him his credit for stepping up, biting down, and getting the victory, y'all. You can't sit up here and try to put a cloud over that man just because Lomachenko want to run to the freaking hospital and get his shoulder scoped out. Man, we have injuries like that. You ever had a scope? You ever had incisions where they freaking do little incisions? And man, come on. If you're a high level athlete, you're constantly going to be in the hospital. You're going to be seeing the doctor. Teofimo had an injury too to his foot. He still went in there and fought. That's no excuse. Denise Ward say excellent content on Facebook, Scotty White. I appreciate that, Denise, and I always appreciate you pulling up. Real talk. Much respect to you. Boxing Queen always showing up on the thread. Appreciate your time. Over here in San Antonio, Texas, it's fight week. Just giving the supporters, those of you that's been following me for a minute, you know I always give a skyline view. You know, I did it from Jerry's World MGM, not so much New York because they don't have a view like this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be, I'm gonna just be honest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this almost looked like the Vegas view, just a little bit similarities. But the lightweight division, man, is real important because boxing media have to wake up and understand, like, what some boxing media, what are you reporting on exactly? Do you want people to believe and take new media as something that's genuine and stand, within their integrity of reporting on boxing? Like, we can't have Teofimo Lopez as a top 2 pound for pound fighter, and then when he gets beat for a second time, y'all act like, oh, it was an injury. So now we had ESPN trying to erase the loss against Alito. But with this fight right here, you have people up here trying to erase the freaking night it happened. They're trying to erase the legitimacy of Teofimo Lopez going in there getting the job done. Face it, he has the belts. Face it. It doesn't matter who's recognized with what. That's not going to do anything in the record book. Right now, Teofimo Lopez is unified champion. Whether it's with all the belts or not, he is the unified. He makes the calls. He's the A side. He's the A side. He is the absolute A side, people. He is the absolute A side. Wherever negotiation he chooses to go from, Teofimo Lopez is the A side. Real talk. It's no question. It's no if. It's no ands. It's no ducking. It's no dodging. Teofimo Lopez is unified champion. His father called it. And see, the good thing about Teofimo Lopez, right? When me covering Teofimo Lopez, I can't sit up here and support fighters, and people even come out their mouth and say, well, you was just hopping on the bandwagon, Teofimo Lopez. That's not the case, because I got receipts. I know motherfuckers didn't want to see the receipts, but I got receipts. His dad said that same thing. Oh, he's going to be a world champion in 15 fights. They scared. I got video of him telling Diego Magnolino in the audience that he's scared. That's what Lopez Sr. does, man. He's been talking that same language and keeping the same energy and say, my son's going to be a world champion in 15 fights. He's going to go in here. We're working for Lopez. He told me that last year, people. January, when we was up in Texas at Jerry World. He said, we gunning for Lomachenko. We gunning for Lomachenko. The man spoke that shit into freaking fruition, revelation. He didn't lose any type of energy when it got closer and closer to getting that fight. And not only, the respect that I have for Lopez Sr. is what it is, but it only elevated when Teofimo Lopez negotiated his contract at $2 million. They are not playing with boxing. I ain't there in the building. What's good? They are not playing with boxing. If you don't respect what the moves they're making, you're going to have to. You're going to have to buckle up and take an Uber, and somehow, some way, you're going to make it to that destination and say this is where they was going all along, because they moving. Team Teofimo Lopez is moving. You can't sit up here and say somebody's motherfucking jumping on the bandwagon and shit when it come here, because a lot of shit that I'm talking to fighters I support, I got receipts. What fucks it up is when you have individuals that you're trying to support and you're doing, the professional part of it. You've been all around the goddamn kingdom of this globe, and you're looking at people and saying, well, they just growing up, try to prove to them it ain't a competition. They tell you some shit like you in competition and you jealous. How does that shit fucking work? That ain't true. Come on now. Nigga like me, I ain't jumping on no bandwagons. If you look at some of my early videos, never. Do I jump on bandwagons? I'm up here in the field and I'm getting motherfucking footage. I don't give a dang how many views hit this, that, and that. I'm doing it for the sport of boxing, amateur all the way up. I'm not sitting up here playing and please give me a super chat. Please give me a super chat. Like, I barely even say like the videos, man, but they out there. And for those Cincinnati fighters that was up there, man, I'm gonna work on your shit tonight. I'm gonna try to push that shit out by Monday and get the sparring up. Y'all be sure to check out the sparring. If you're a true boxing heads, show support to these amateurs that was on deck. You know what I'm saying? Ferris Dixon was up there, Lil KK. He had Slick Daz in the building. Gervonta Clark. A lot of fighters that I met for the first time. But I'm putting their sparring up there. And I appreciate Mike Stafford for having me on deck. Christina La Rosa. So I just, came back from Cincinnati not too long ago. Now I'm up in San Antonio. That's how it was before the pandemic hit, really. If I can get there, I get there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say, man. This shit is way past the keyboard and the screen. You got to go out here and talk to these fighters, man. Get the norm and educate yourselves on boxing. I'm out here for education, out here for experience, to see what's really popping on the ground floor. That's all. And those of you that's been rocking with me, I appreciate it. But I cover multiple fighters on different scales, especially the diamonds in the rough on the grassroots. It was a pleasure being out there in Cincinnati, watching some of those young youth get it in. I'm telling you, man, I got some sparring footage that's out there, man. These goddamn Cincinnati, these cats out here in Cincinnati are talented. And once again, just so nobody don't say I'm jumping on the bandwagon, I said the same thing when I covered the amateurs when Cincinnati came down to the A. And they goddamn showed out a little bit. You have to do your homework and find the vid. I'm not looking for it, but yeah, I was there too. Amateurs is where all the goddamn diamonds are being polished, man. Y'all have to, if y'all really have the patience for the sport, and you really want to extend your depth of knowledge when it comes to boxing outside of popular names, then you have to attend the amateurs. You have to freaking dive into some of these fighters as mid-level. And of course, speak about the ones that's on top. That's just how the sport works for those hardcore purists that's out there. But if you ain't willing to sit down and go to these fight cards, man, and see some of these young warriors get it in, you ain't gonna really know how the sport is gonna change. Like, you got some hitters that's coming up. They just waiting their opportunity. Shout out to Lolo. Shout out to Lolo Harris, man. You have a lot of hitters that's out there. It's boxing, y'all. It's boxing. I seen you was in the Natty. I'm here in Columbus, family. All right, for sure, for sure. That's what's good, man. Yeah, man, different narratives for different people. Yeah, it's probably a different part of New York, Denise. I know the one I was in up at MGM. Not MGM, Madison Square Garden. I'll take that back. You're right. I take that back. The View, I'll take that back. I forgot about it. When Jimmy Lennon walked in, it was a good view because I was doing a live outside the window. You're right. It was a good view that day. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're right, Denise. It was. I have to take that back. I was thinking more so of one other time I was there, which I know where it was. It was in Newark. I was in Jersey. That's the view that wasn't all that. All right, I remember now. But anyway, those of you that's tuning in the building, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It's grind time once again, you know. I'm looking forward to the fight. I will be in the building. Absolutely. You know, you can talk about it all your time. Be about it. You know, show up to a fight. Get educated, people. I'm all about educating myself and learning more about each fighters as they come up, and then learning more about the fighters that's getting to that level. Shout out to Jaleel, Jahad Tucker. Shout out to Jahad Tucker. You know, doing the damn thing 2-0 undefeated. All these young warriors stepping onto the big stage. Vito Melnicki. I saw him when he was what, 1-0? I think he like 5-0 right now. He was still in high school. Shout out to Vito Melnicki, man. Italian cat, you know. These dudes coming on the stage, young in the game, still in high school. Lolo Jones just turned 17. You know what I'm saying? He got another fight. I mean, Lolo Harris just turned 17. He has another fight coming up. Young in the game, man. Young in the game, bro. It's always going to be a young, hungry lion, you know, barely out of his teens, grinding on the amateur circuit, looking to turn professional and make a name for himself. If you wasn't impressed with Jahad Tucker, man, the way he went in there his second fight and looked way different than he did his first against a gamed opponent who tried to sucker punch him right off the rip. He tried to give him the okie doke right off the rip. He said, "Oh man, I'm gonna try to see if this cat, you know, I'm gonna see what his ring IQ is. I'm gonna see if he really about that." And what Jahai do? He ducked up underneath. He slipped that shit underneath, real smooth, like turned around. It was on and popping from there. It was a fight, and it wasn't boring. 1 minute, 1 second of the fight. So pay attention to them young cats, man. It's so many out there. You know, shout out to Charles Conwell, man, over there at Soul City Boxing. Shout out to him. Appreciate Gervonta Clark, man, who, in my opinion, you know, super welterweight. He's one of the only people to defeat Sebastian Fundora, in my opinion. Sebastian Fundora should have a 1 on his record. I haven't even released this interview yet. And, you know, some of these interviews are not extensively long because you're catching a fighter that's coming to spar. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Team Cartel. They was in the building. Y'all need to pay attention to some of them fighters over there, Team Cartel now. I'm telling you, I don't know what you was doing when you was at their age. God damn. Them boys are serious. You know what we used to say growing up, the truth. Go to IG and check out Team Cartel. Check out Mason Huntley. Check out Coach Huntley. Check out his little brother. There's 2 brothers out there. The little one, I mean, both of them are goddamn dangerous as shit, man. Both of them are lethal. Technically sound and tough. Very tough boxers. Check them out on IG, man. I haven't posted Lil Huntley though. Lil Dog 220, I believe that's his IG handle. I haven't posted his sparring out there, man. You're gonna be impressed with this cat. And that's the good thing I liked about Michael Stafford. He allowed me to record some of the. He allowed me to do what the heck I wanted to do, man, which allows those fighters to get exposure. So I took pictures and did video. Recon shit. That's what I do it for. And then I have to go home and edit this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't complaining. You see, I ain't really been live lately because boxing is picking up. So when I get, when I'm on deck, that's what I like to do. You cannot sit up here and find that type of education online. You have to go into the school and sit down at a desk and see these cats firsthand get it in. You have to see them box. You have to see what they damn facial expressions, their behaviors like. Love it, man. Cincinnati sparring, that was like man, that shit was on point, man. That was my first time up there watching them young cats get it in. And then also, the older, I think they had like 3 or 4 older professionals that was on deck too. But I was doing that shit by my solo. They had 3 open rings active with matches going on in every ring. From youth, the little kids, to the mid range, like the teenagers, and then in the third ring you had the bigger guys. It depends on how long you've been boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's the first time I was able to see Gervonta Clark go in there and get that work in, man. Damn. I use my imagination a lot. When I see a fighter that I watched on TV, I see him for the first time. When I'm watching them, I'm basically reflecting on fights that I've seen them in before. So I'm kind of putting the whole side by side comparison. I'm reflecting on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking moments and rounds in the fight as they're sparring that individual. You know what I'm saying? I do the same shit with any fight I run. James Toney, Roy Jones, all that shit. Stopping by the show, support, smash your like, going to watch the fights. Yeah, man. You know what it is. It's grind time, showtime, PBC, Tank Davis in the building, Leo Santa Cruz. You know what it is. Rougarou, Regis Progress, representing New Orleans, baby. And my boy Diego Magdaleno. You know what I'm saying? He in there with a tough one tonight. Tomorrow night. He in there with a tough one. That's my boy Diego Magdaleno, man. I'm definitely looking to get a drop on all 3 of those, hopefully. I don't think so. I don't never count too much out with Tank. Most of the time he be with security. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. We'll see, bro. Especially if he win. I don't know how that perimeter is gonna look. The only time I take that back, man, the only time I really seen, I say that story for another time, man. I got a solid story, no cap, about me and Gervonta when we was in Vegas. Like, I seen him walking in Vegas by himself. That was the only time. He was with one other cat, but it wasn't his security. But I seen him walking by himself, signing autograph, all that shit, dog. Taking pictures, all that shit. So the new shit that was in Baltimore and all that was new to me. Like, I seen him, before in MGM, he was cool. But security was tight in MGM and when he was in freaking ATL, man. 2 of his biggest fights. Good news. All right. Adrian Broner is due to step back in the square, in January. The undercard is going to feature a lot of cats that's, over in that boxing stronghold too. Like the Robert Easters, I believe. I think Rashid Warren is going to have a lot of people on that undercard. About Billions Promotions. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be, from my understanding, About Billions Promotions. And he's going to be back in there around January 16th. That's the word on the streets that I got while I was up there. All right. Now, of course, your boy was trying to, peel back some other layers to the info game. who is his opponent. I kept asking. Excuse me, please. I just have just one little question. It's very important. Do you know who AB may be facing coming up in January? I won't tell nobody. Just let me know. Nah, man, we can't tell you that. We know. I mean, we really don't know. They either know or they don't know. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't let me get the drop. They didn't give me the nugget. I'm not saying it's always like that. There's a lot of shit I done found out that people say, hey, that's the word right there. That's where we at. But they wouldn't give me the info, y'all. Because I sure enough wanted to know. I sure enough wanted to know. I want to know who AB fighting on his return. He hasn't fought since PAC. That was early January, wasn't it? I was at that fight. So he's going on close to 2 years. Well, it would be 2 years by the time he stepped back in the ring. It would be 2 years, people. Look at that skylight. Look at that. Shit is picking up. Only for the supporters. Everybody else is not really important, but only for the supporters. I appreciate you. And the new supporters, those of you that's tuned in. If you choose to like it and subscribe to the channel for the grind, for the recon mission of this boxing game, then do so. No begging over here. It is what it is, man. You want to support World Combat Sports, let me know. Subscribe to the channel, man. Show support. Show up to the lives, man. That's what it is. I promise you, I'm not going to be asking you for a live chat 100 times. It's not going to happen. But I would ask for you to show up whenever you feel like it. And show your boy support, man. Respect the mission at hand is to go out here and get it. Now that this is really the first big fight, it's gonna have a crowd on that, people. This is a big fucking deal. And just to think, coming off February 22nd, we never would have thought we was gonna be, on the dark side of boxing the way we was due to the COVID. We never knew it was gonna take this long near the end of the year to have a live gate back in the building. And, of course, I'm curious to see how everything play out, how the seating arrangements and everything going to be, and everything. So we'll see how that goes, man. But I just wanted to stop on here, man, and talk to the people, let you know what was really going on. Finally touched down, man. 10 toes down. It's time to go out here and fish and see what's popping in the lobby. Around this time, it really gets packed because people are coming in, getting off work, flying in, catching late flights in so they can be here for tomorrow. So with that said, people, don't go far. I'm going to be jumping back on periodically. And, especially I'm going to try to be here when the sun coming up and talk some boxing. And, I really haven't had the time and the opportunity to talk about my boy Khabib Nurmagomedov, and how instrumental or how epic his fight was against Justin Gaethje and how it basically blends in with his legacy as being one of the top pound for pound guys to do it in the lightweight division and mixed martial arts in general. You know what I'm saying? It was a big deal, bro. Even though for Justin Gaethje, I wouldn't say it looked bad, but it didn't look good either. Because looking at the way he went out in the second round, Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier has bragging rights over Justin Gaethje. You know what I'm saying? Like bragging rights when it comes to Khabib, even though all of them was stopped in the same fashion of submission. But Khabib basically subbed out Justin Gaethje somewhat the same way he did in his first fight. On his first MMA fights. Like, yeah. He gave y'all something different. Triangle choke from the bottom. We're not used to seeing Khabib on his back, but he chose to go to his back by choice. You know why he didn't want, you know why he wasn't on top landing punches? I even said this on my live. Levels. Khabib lost his father. His mindset was in a different place too. I'm going to say that, I'm going to say most of what I know to a different live, strictly, you know, for Khabib, because his daddy meant everything for him. And the reason why you didn't see Khabib bludgeoning Justin Gaethje like he usually do to his opponents. The fact that his dad passed away from COVID, but Justin Gaethje had his family in the building. And this is how good of a dude Khabib Nurmagomedov is. And people don't give him his just due respect. He didn't even punch Justin Gaethje in the face when he got him to the canvas because his family was there. He said he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to make him look that way in front of his mother and father. Don't call it weak, because we know Khabib is a fucking savage. But you have to respect the man's intellect when it comes to having a heart and respect for his pugilism. They say, you know what? We usually seeing Khabib try to stick his fist and come out the back of their skull with it. Khabib usually try to punch a fighter. It's almost like he's tenderizing his food. He's playing around with it, say, you know what? I want you to verbally tap. I don't want to sub you out first. Verbally tap. Do me a favor and respect the game. You ain't getting up out of this whirlwind I got you in. This ass whooping is longevity. This shit is time released. Do me a favor and verbal tap. He didn't even freaking punch Justin Gaethje in the face when he was on the ground, because his parents was in the building. Justin Gaethje's parents was in the building. Khabib gave that man a pass. You know why? For the real ones that's in the sport that tune in mixed martial arts. Not just because a fight come on, the real ones that know the game. Check this out. Justin Gaethje said he wasn't going to tap. Justin Gaethje said he wasn't going to tap. So add an extra layer of sensitivity and compassion. Khabib said, you know what? I'm not going to break this man limb. I'm not going to motherfucking put him out the sport. He's making a living. I'm not going to do that tonight. You know, my pops has passed away. I still, you know, my mom, you know, but they didn't want me to come back to the sport. He ended up retiring 29-0. It was a lot that was heavy on his heart. Justin Gaethje said he wasn't going to tap. Khabib said, you know what? I know I can, if I wanted to, I go, you know, I can submit him and break his arm. Because a lot of us, including myself, thought Justin Gaethje had better takedown offense. But he didn't want to break Justin's limb. He didn't want to go through the extreme with joint manipulation. And fragment Justin Gaethje's, either one of his limbs, to the point where it's definitely going to require surgery and it's going to keep him out the sport. Plus his mom and dad was on deck. So the absence of punches and the absence of a submission game of basically locking in a limb. And Justin Gaethje already gave the confirmation saying he wasn't going to tap if he was in that position. Khabib obliged him differently. He put him to sleep. He put Gaethje to sleep. But that's for another live. Appreciate everyone for stopping in. You know what it is? Welcome at Sports in the Building. Shout out to all the San Antonians down here, man. I'm about to get into the nightlife. You know what it is? I got to go out here and recon. That's what Marines do. Hoorah, simplify. To the next. I'm out.